Welcome to the Magnetic Presence Podcast. This is the show for personal brands, for experts, for coaches, for creators, speakers, and leaders, everyone who relies on attention, trust, and influence to get results. The Magnetic Presence Podcast is going to help you become more magnetic on stage, on screen, and in life so that you can turn attention into more clients, more bookings, more opportunity, and more cha-ching revenue. Of course, I am your host, Joey Freddie Larson. And in today's episode, we are going to answer the question, why do some people instantly shift the energy of a room while others can say all the right things and nothing happens? Because here's the reality that most people avoid. You are already influencing every room that you walk into, whether you realize it or not. The only question is, are you doing it on purpose, with intention, or are you leaking energy or affecting people unconsciously without even realizing it, without even any intention or attention on how you are affecting the energy in that room? And remember, in a world today where AI can generate content and scripts and frameworks and even build entire businesses for people from scratch, your edge is no longer what you know. See, knowledge is common. Knowledge is now a commodity, but your number one differentiator and your number one advantage in this AI world is how you make people feel in your presence. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about in today's episode. We're going to get real. So I want to do more than just talk about this, actually. I want to demonstrate it for you. Right now, wherever you are, just take a breath in. Take a deep breath. Hold it for a second. Now exhale slowly. If you want to do that again, inhale, hold it for a second or a few seconds, and a long exhale, longer than usual. If you want to do one more, inhale, hold, exhale. Good. Now notice what just happened in your body. Just from 3 relaxing inhales and exhales. Your shoulders probably relaxed, your chest probably softened, maybe your face relaxed a little bit, and certainly your mind slowed down. And notice that nothing in your external world changed. You could be in downtown New York City in Times Square, and it's just the most chaotic place, noises, honking, all kinds of chaos, people yelling and screaming at each other. But just the process of a few deep breaths and your internal state changed, even though the external world may have stayed exactly the same and exactly as chaotic as it's been. But here's the part that most people miss. If you were speaking to someone right now, whether in real life, on stage, on screen, on a webinar, on a sales call, they would feel that shift too. Just the difference in you taking a few deep breaths, they would feel that too. In fact, it's something that I just did 5 minutes ago before I started this episode. I took a few deep breaths, I relaxed, I said some fun things to my brain to get me in the right state, to focus on helping people. I gave my face some massages, my jaw some massages. I shook it out a little bit and just got in a more relaxed state and a more positive state as well. But notice the shift in your nervous system and in your energy is something that your audience, anyone you're speaking to, presenting to, selling to, will notice immediately. And they may not notice that intellectually. It might not be like, John is really relaxed. John is making me feel relaxed. No, it's just physically, their nervous system, it's a subconscious thing. Mirror neurons will fire. You relax, I relax. I relax, you relax. And what is that? That is energy transfer, my friend. And if you don't understand that, what's happening is you may be unintentionally training people how to feel around you, and you may be training them to feel ways that aren't resulting in them being more relaxed, more receptive, more trusting, and certainly booking, becoming a client, becoming a sale, becoming revenue and income, and taking action on the things that you want them to take action on. So this episode is about being more intentional with your energy. So here's the core idea. Again, people respond to your words first. They were, sorry, let me say that again. Freudian slip. People do not respond to your words first. They respond to your nervous system first. And again, your audience, they're not there sitting there analyzing your sentences, analyzing your grammar, analyzing your pronunciation, and then deciding how they feel. What's happening is they are feeling you. They are feeling your energy, just like you're feeling my energy right now. And then after you feel my energy, you're deciding, are his words worth listening to? That is the order. First, they feel you, and then the logic kicks in afterwards, and the decision making kicks in based on how you are feeling or how you are making other people feel. So most people get this completely backwards. Most people continue to tweak your content, tweak your strategy, tweak your tactics, look for hacks, look for tips, look for like the missing link or the shiny object or the secret funnel, the secret business hack. What is TikTok and Instagram telling you is the special way to win more clients, when the real issue, the foundation, the core issue beneath all of your tactics, all of your strategy, all of your content, all of your launch mechanisms, your sales mechanisms, beneath all of your funnels is energy. The real issue is the state that you are delivering everything from. So let's make this a little uncomfortable, maybe a little bit more real. On a sales call, for those of you that do sales calls in your business, you've been on a call, and let's flip it. Let's say you're on a sales call as the potential client or the potential buyer. You have been on a call where someone sounds a little unsure. Maybe they're just kind of, sort of, maybe a little hesitation. Maybe their inflection goes up after what should be a statement. Sounds like a question. And then you're wondering, does this person know what they're talking about? Or they're talking too fast. Oh, hey there, John, let me tell you about all the benefits and the features. And we're so happy to see you. And you're going to love this. We got some great stuff for you. And they're just over talking, over explaining, talking too fast. And just implicitly, you're not trusting them. And it's often not because the offer is bad. The offer may be incredible. It may be just exactly what you want. But because their state is unstable and sending those mixed messages, you don't say yes. You hesitate. You decide to think about it or to talk it over, or you decide, you know what, maybe I'm gonna check out option B and C and D as well. When maybe you were even coming onto that call thinking, yeah, I'm already sold. And then just nervous system signals that you get from that person make you think maybe this isn't the thing for me. And you go shop around, you look elsewhere. In the dating scene, it can be the exact same sentences, even the same words. And if one version is rushed and they're kind of tight and kind of seeking approval, like, oh hey there, oh yeah, so I hope you like me, and they're putting up this performance of, this is the best version of me, hope you like me, or people pleasing, where it's like, well, whatever you like, I like. What do you want to do? Oh, what are you going to have? Oh, I'll have what you're having. Where everything is seeking approval, versus Someone comes in, you meet them, they're super chill, they're relaxed, they're grounded, they have certainty, they have their own point of view rather than defaulting and deferring and delegating their point of view to whatever you think. Same kind of words, but one feels really needy, and then the other is really attractive, really magnetic. So remember, it's more than communication. A lot of times you hear, "Oh, you need to be a better communicator," and you think that's just the words. I need to be clear with my words, be more clear with my ideas. No, you need to be more clear with your nervous system projection. In the example of negotiations, there's a saying that you may have heard is the person who speaks first after silence loses leverage. Why? Well, it's because they weren't able to hold that tension. Like a salesperson, or in a negotiation over a price, say take real estate, for example, someone drops the price and then immediately is like, but if that's something that you can't handle, or if that doesn't fit your budget, or if you do need to negotiate a little bit, or but of course we are flexible, we are negotiable. Like, rather than just dropping the price, sitting in your power, holding silence, and letting the other person respond. The one who stays calm really controls the frame in your content creation as well. You've all watched someone where what they are saying is completely correct. Like, technically it's correct, but you scroll away anyways because nothing in your own body moved. They didn't actually move you. They didn't wrap your attention, snap your attention. They didn't pull you in and actually make you feel something, where it's like, yes, all the I's were dotted, all the T's were crossed. Technically the information was great, but boring. And that's even more amplified on social media, where everything is like 3 seconds, 5 seconds, 7 seconds, 60 seconds, a minute. Like on short form content, you really got to be making people feel something. So let's talk about, let's do a little live contrast here, a little demo. I want to show you something. So again, same sentences, same words, same ideas, two different states. So version one is you hop on this call with me, and I'm like, okay, so yeah, I just wanted to share this one idea with you. I think it could maybe help in your situation. I think. So here it is. You feel that? So just register how that made you feel, versus you hop on this Zoom call with me. I'm on the other side, and I'm sitting here waiting for you, and I say, now I have an idea for you, and this is going to shift everything. Feel the difference? Same ideas, same general thoughts, but completely different impact. So where are you conveying certainty, and where are you conveying uncertainty? And why is that? The first version was asking for permission. I have an idea for you. It might maybe sort of it could maybe kind of help if you want to hear it. I mean, it could. Versus the other one is transmitting certainty. So just like, wow, John, boy, you are in the right place. I've got something for you today that is going to completely change your business and your life. And then they're leaning in. Oh, okay, yeah, tell me about it. Versus the other leaning back. In the first version, well, I don't think you seem too certain about what you're talking about, so I am not certain that I want to hear it. So remember, you don't get nervous because the moment is high stakes. The moment becomes high stakes because you're nervous. Was that a little Yoda-ism there? Again, often it's not that your nerves are there because of the high stakes. The moment becomes more high stakes because you're nervous. So your nervous system is fluttering, and your heart is racing, and you're tight and you're clenched. And all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, this feels so high stakes. This feels like I'm going to blow it here. What if this doesn't go well? What if they don't like me? Versus a calm nervous system. And often you think that the pressure is coming from the outside, but really you're generating it. You're generating that pressure in your own nervous system and then projecting it outwards. So it's a little bit of a switch. Start within. So you've heard the term so within, so without. So start with your nervous system inside, because everyone around you is picking that up. So let's talk a little more science. There's a concept called emotional contagion. And you may have heard about this, but humans, we are wired to mirror each other. And you've seen it. You ever walk into a room and you just walk in and you feel that there's tension? Like maybe you walk in a couple and you just know like they have been at each other's throats. They've been arguing. It is just awkward. And nobody said anything, but you can feel the tension. You can feel the vibration, the frequency. You can just feel the energy in that room is like, and you're like, is everything okay? Are you guys okay? Or you slowly back out of that room like you've walked into the wrong room. Like this room doesn't seem emotionally safe. So I'm gonna I'm gonna leave you guys to this. I'll be in the next room if you need me. Versus, and how do you see that? You see it in people's posture. You can hear it in tone of voice. Maybe as you were walking in or walking down the hallway, you could hear something in the tone of voice that just, even if you didn't hear the words, you're like, oh, that sounds like an argument. Doesn't sound like nice conversation. And you can feel it in your own body. You feel it in your own chest. You walk in and all of a sudden your own chest is tightening and you're not sure why, right? No one told you when you entered the room. No one's like, it's awkward in here. There's a lot of tension. We are in the middle of some shit. You just feel it. Your body reads it. And that is your nervous system syncing with the environment. And why was that helpful back in the day, caveman days, tribal days? Because if there was danger, your body, you'd be a heightened sense, and you want to be matching the people around you. Like it's like that. That emotional contagion is also like in crowds. If something dramatic happens, something dangerous has happened, there's a threat, and one side of the room recognize it and they start moving and talking a certain way, then your nervous system wants to match that because it's like, oh shit, well, what's the danger over there? And if you flip it, when you walk into a room where someone is completely grounded, what's the difference? Their movements may be slower, their voice is steady, their presence is settled. And without thinking, your body starts to match them. That's why, like, when you walk into a meditation room or a church or a chapel or a synagogue, you walk in, it's calm, it's peaceful. There's just a different shift of an energy. And it isn't, that's not just like charisma, right? It's actual biology, it's science. And here's, though, where you're most likely fooling yourself. Many of you think that you just need more reps, more rehearsal, more practice, more content, more preparation. And yes, that will help. I'm not anti-rehearsal. I'm not anti-prep and reps. Obviously, the longer that you're doing something in your life and business, you're going to get better and stronger at it. But often, again, we're working on surface level things versus working on the foundation, or even below the foundation, the roots below the foundation. Really, you need that control, that nervous system control. And many of you, and I've been there too. So I'm not talking like I'm a guru at the top of a mountain. This is something that is still daily work, daily challenges, something that I remind myself. And quite frankly, it's a big reason why I do this podcast. And it's a big reason why I've chosen to do this work, because it's valuable to me too. And I'm learning every time I'm teaching and sharing this stuff. So when I started magnetic presence mastery, when I started this podcast, all my work with actors, all my work with business owners. I love it because I can't teach someone without also reminding myself of all this stuff. And every time I'm teaching it and coaching someone, I am reminding myself that I need to do my best to embody this. So I'm talking the talk and I'm walking the walk. I can't come on here and talk about magnetic presence and nervous system regulation frantically if I'm all stressed out. It just would it work, right? So you keep refining scripts and you keep refining content and you keep looking towards strategy and tactics and all this 3D masculine energy, action, do type things. And often you're doing that because it's actually safer than looking at the root issue. And it feels safer than fixing your state. But and the reason for that is looking at your own nervous system and your own state, it really exposes you. Being in silence and being stillness is like, well, where it's like wherever you are, there you are, right? It's just you now. And sometimes that can feel scary, but this kind of work pays massive dividends. And when you do not address this, for those of you, you're spending thousands of dollars in copy coaching, messaging coaching, funnel coaching, DM automation coaching, how to master your Facebook groups, how to master a webinar, how to do challenges, how to do high ticket, how to do low ticket, how to do Facebook ads, how to do Google ads, how to do LinkedIn ads, all these tactics and strategies, and you're never addressing the root thing, you, the human being beneath all of this. And it's funny how we can do that. Many of us do this our entire lives. And I wasn't always focused on this kind of stuff. When I was younger, my 20s and 30s, I was not thinking presence and nervous system regulation. So congrats if you're here and you're doing some of this work, because it is an evolution of you and it is an expansion of you. And what it really is getting back to who you really are. It's a reset is what it is. It's not, I got to build all these things and I got to slap all this extra stuff on me. No, it's stripping yourself of masks and it's stripping yourself of all this like societal stuff that's been thrown us, doubts, fears, norms, worrying about how we're being perceived. It's just return to who you are, return to your natural magnetic state. And that may take some work, and that's why we're here. So remember, most people, and I would love if you do an honest audit of yourself, most people are walking around like thermometers, meaning every room you walk into, the temperature in that room, and when I say temperature, I mean the figurative temperature, the nervous system temperature affects you. So if you walk into a room where everyone is chaotic and frantic and panicky, you react that way like a temperature. You're like a thermometer. You measure that and become that. So you adjust. But magnetic people with magnetic presence, do not just react like a thermostat. They have this unshakableness to them where they're much more like thermostats. And I've used this metaphor before, and I will continue to use it again because I love it. They set the temperature, not by force, not by being loud, but by being stable. So magnetic people can walk into a room where people are frantic and flustered, and especially leaders, their team is all frantic. The shit has hit the fan, deadlines, something in the system has broken. And then someone with just calm, cool ice veins comes in and says, okay, let's deal with this. Let's think this through. Let's walk this through. And they set the temperature like a thermostat. And then everyone else either goes down if they need to become more cool, or the opposite. If you walk into a room and it's just lethargic, no energy, everyone's down and out, depressed, no action being taken, someone who's the thermostat does the opposite, where they can walk in and be like, all right, let's go. It's go time here, game time, baby. And then all of a sudden the temperature rises in the room and matches the magnetic person. Now, real quick, if you are recognizing this in yourself or recognizing yourself in this conversation, like you know that you have the talent, you know you have the expertise, you have the knowledge, you can help people, you have a message that will transform the world and transform lives, and you're able to really affect people. Something right now is just not translating, and maybe you're really frustrated by that, and you're just like, I feel like I'm right there. You ever have the feeling that you're just on the cusp or on the verge, like you're just knocking on the door, or you're dialing in the numbers on a combination lock, but you just haven't quite cracked the safe. You need to diagnose where your presence is leaking. And lucky for you, I have developed something called the Magnetic Presence Assessment. And what it's going to do, it's going to show you exactly where you are leaking your magnetism, what you are doing wrong, where you are losing attention, where you're losing authority, and it will show you how to fix it. Here's how to get it. Go to Instagram, shoot me a DM at Joey Freddie Larson. Shoot me a DM that says quiz, Q-U-I-Z, and I will send you the link to that magnetic presence assessment. It'll take you about 60 seconds. If you're slow, it might take you all of 2 minutes, and it's going to identify where your presence is leaking. It's going to show you some things that you can do immediately to fix it. So go to Joey Freddie Larson on Instagram. If you're not following me, make sure to follow me, because if you don't and you send me that DM, it might go to the message request folder and I might never see it. So shoot me that DM with the word quiz. You'll get access to that assessment, and you will be able to see where you're leaking and see how to fix it. Now, 3 levels of energy transfer. I want to get back into it and talk to this here. Level 1, a lot of people are just like unaware, like unconscious to this. You feel something, you know you're leaking presence, leaking authority, but you don't really have any control over it. So it's just like a plastic bag in the wind. You're just going with the flow. You don't really know what's going on. You don't have any control. Many people live there. Level 2 is to reach a level of regulation where you're starting to become aware of your state. You're becoming aware of your energy. You can do these internal audits and you can recognize it, and you're even able to stabilize it. You're able to take a few breaths. You're able to slow down. You're able to correct your posture, right? And what happens there is you stop transmitting that chaotic, panicked, nervous energy. But level 3, a level beyond that, is deliberate transmission. And what I mean by that is you are choosing intentionally what the room is going to feel. You're checking yourself before you're wrecking yourself. Before you enter every room, whether IRL or online, you are intentionally deciding, this is how I want people to feel. This is the outcome that I want from this conversation, from this situation, from this webinar, from this sales call. And you are deciding how you want it to go. You're entering with calm. You're entering with a certain level of intensity and trust. And that's where your influence actually starts to take off. So I want to tell you a little mini story here. As you know, I've been an actor for 17 years, stand-up comedian. I've worked in TV, film, theater. Before that, I had 10 years in sales management with a financial services company where I was hiring, recruiting, and training a full sales team. For the last 10 years, I've also coached other actors, helping them stand out in their own auditions and book lead roles. So the majority of my life, I've been in these environments where all of this stuff matters. And I've gone on stage for sure several times, and any comedian or actor tells you that this hasn't happened to them, they're probably lying. And then you want to ask yourself, what else are they lying about? Where I've gone on, where I knew I had strong material, and I've just lost the room. It just didn't happen. It was just like a bomb. And it wasn't because the material was bad. It wasn't because I'm bad. It wasn't the jokes are bad. It was because I was tight. Sometimes people ask me, like, oh, have you ever bombed on stage? Yeah, dozens and dozens of times. Sometimes immediately after crushing. You have one show goes amazing, and you're on top of the world thinking you're invincible. And the next day, you're like, oh my God, I want to tear my own skin off. Do I even have any idea what I'm doing? And the biggest difference, what I always tell people when they ask, I would say 99 out of like, or 9 out of 10 times when it doesn't go well, it's because my own brain, my own thoughts, and then my own nervous system wasn't regulated going into it. And what do I mean by that? Maybe I was going in thinking like, I don't know if this is going to go well. Is this going to go well? Are they going to like me? Do I know my stuff? What if this doesn't go well? Sometimes it's been what I would perceive a higher stakes environment where someone was in the audience that was influential, or this was just a bigger level stage, maybe a bigger audience, or maybe even for many people, it's bigger money. The first time you were paid to do something that was just more money that you've ever received. Or if you had the perception like this could be a big break. Sometimes we get in our own heads and then we unravel. And you've all seen this. It's rushing, it's tightness, it's trying to make it work, trying too hard even rather than being relaxed. And the audience feels that. You feel it, and then the audience feels it. And that's long before I get to any punchlines. And versus other nights, other shows, other talks, other stage opportunities where I'm just focused, thinking the good thoughts. What are my internal thoughts going in? This is going to go amazing. I can't wait to serve this audience. I can't wait to connect with these people. And sometimes even throwing it away like, I don't even care how this goes. I'm just going to have fun. There's been plenty of situations where I've gone on stage knowing that the setup wasn't great, the environment wasn't great. Like, you do stand-up shows where there isn't a stage, there isn't a spotlight, the mic's crappy, there's noises. I've done shows in bars where like the pool tables and video games are still going. All of the big screen TVs have all the baseball games on, sometimes even with volume on. So you're like, going into this, you're like, the odds are stacked against us to begin with. But being able to remain in my own power and just think, hey, maybe this one's for me. I'm going to have fun. And that's often what I tell people in the stand-up world is when I'm having fun, 99% of the time goes well. Why? Because people see someone who's relaxed on stage, having fun, enjoying the moment, and then their mirror neurons kick in and they're like, well, he's having fun, so I'm having fun too. And so it's slowing down, taking your time, letting those silences breathe, not feeling rushed, not feeling the urgency of, I got to control everything, going with the flow, going with the moment, relaxing, connecting. And suddenly, even if it's the same joke, same material, same words, if it was a play, a theater production, everything lands differently. And then you can just really like click in. So just remember, it is not your content. It is the carrier's signal, the messenger's signal. The messenger often is the message. So here's your weekly challenge. And this is where many of you might not follow through. So I'm going to challenge you here to be one of the people listening, even if it's just one of you, follow through on this. Because sure, you can listen to all this and then go back to your chaotic world, but listen to this and then take some of these action steps. This is the part that is going to change you. So in the next 7 days, between now and the next time you tune into the next episode, rule number 1, speak slower. Say 20, 25% slower. I know that's tough. We're not robots, so you can't there's no dial on your on your brain or on your mouth that says 25% slower. But just be conscious of, I'm going to slow down. There's no rush. We got time. This is my time, whether it's on a sales call, on stage, on a webinar, on a Zoom, wherever it is, just this is your moment. This is your time. Own it. Slow down, and even slower than feels natural. And treat this like a science experiment where your hypothesis is, if I slow down, I think I'm going to feel better, I'm going to feel stronger, I'm going to feel more relaxed, and I think it's going to land stronger. And see how that does. Rule 2, leave 2 seconds minimum of silence after key sentences. There was 2 seconds. Number 3, don't rush to fill conversational gaps. Sit in the silence, soak in the silence, enjoy it. One of my favorite things when I'm playing guitar is the silence between notes. And really my favorite thing, there's just something, I don't know what it is about it. It's just like almost sacred, where the last chord and the strings on my guitar are resonating and are vibrating, but then the sound is fading, fading, fading. And there's just that last audible sound of the note, and then silence. Or if I'm performing and playing in front of people, then it's applause or claps or hooting and hollering if it's stand up, but just relishing that silence. Don't see silence as a bad thing. See it as a beautiful thing. Okay, and before any interaction in your life, ask yourself, what state am I in? And if you feel, okay, yeah, I'm a little wired, I'm flustered, I'm cranky, I'm nervous, I'm tight, whatever it is, slow it down. Breathe. Drop your shoulders. Extend and exhale. And then ask the question, now what do I want them to feel? Not what do I want to say? So often before going on stage, people are frantically, they're doing this. Okay, yeah. And they're frantically going over bullet points, frantically going over speech. And you wonder why it doesn't go well, because your mind is racing, your heart is racing, your brain is telling you don't screw up, don't forget stuff. Oh my God, I need to memorize all this stuff. No, get the focus off of you and onto your audience. How do you want them to feel? And then speak from that state. Literally half an hour ago before this podcast, I was in this room, I was shaking it out, I was massaging my face, and I was thinking, connect with them, feel them, serve them, help them. And I actually told myself, I'm just going to be helping one person. Maybe it's you. I'm just coming on here today. I'm going to share my message. I'm going to do my best to convey this message and connect with even just one person. And I know that I've done my job today. I'm not coming on here worrying, like, oh, am I going to lose my words? Am I going to say something bad? Am I going to say the wrong thing? Am I going to stumble over my words? I know that might happen, but who cares? I know that if my heart is aligned with my message, my mind, heart, body, nervous system, soul, then it's going to land and I'm going to help someone. Speak from that state. So your final shift here, reminder, you don't need better content. You need better control of your internal environment, your nervous system, because your internal environment becomes everyone else's experience of you, and then it becomes their internal environment. So just decide. Another good thing too, last little tip here before I bring the ship back to harbor, is I shared this on a call inside my program, Magnetic Performance Mastery, with a client. And I said to her, she was doing webinars, and I said, imagine your thoughts while you're giving the webinar were scrolling like the chat bar, like people could just see your thoughts. And then she was like, wow, yeah, okay, yeah. And then what do you do then? Then be more conscious of your nervous system and your self-talk and your internal thoughts, so that if it was scrolling, people would see someone in their own personal power, and they would see someone and feel someone who has a regulated nervous system. That is the game. So if this episode landed for you and you're ready for the next level, and I know many of you are, I want you to go to joeyfreddylarson.com/founder. That's joeyfreddylarson.com/founder. And you can join the priority access list to claim a spot the next time we open up spots in Magnetic Performance Mastery. That is my high level program, high touch program, where we work with you and we train these skills and really install these skills. And remember, it's not about becoming someone else. It's about a reset, returning to who you really are. However, these are skills that can be developed and worked on as well. So it's stripping yourselves of the masks and then also developing these skills, training this in your body until it really becomes automatic. That is where that work lives. The link is in the podcast description, but you can go to joeyfreddylarson.com/founder, throw your name and email there. And what will happen is the next time I'm opening up spots for the program, you'll be notified first to be able to claim one of those spots. Now, I'm actually not guaranteeing that if you're on the wait list, you're going to get a spot, but you will be notified first. So you'll have first access before I open it to the public. So again, joeyfreddylarson.com/founder. And remember, you're already shifting every room that you walk into. The only question is, are you doing it intentionally? Or are you doing it completely unintentionally, randomly, and accidentally? Okay, so thank you for listening today. This has been the Magnetic Presence Podcast. And remember, in an AI world where knowledge and content is common and commoditized, what is rare? You and your human magnetic presence. Your magnetic presence is your number one advantage in an AI world. We'll see you in the next episode.